misconduct, and they're covered by the Code of Judicial Conduct.
But isn't it the case that a judge is a judge 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, according to the Judicial Code?
That is correct. In fact, you're correct. The Judicial Code refers to misconduct on the bench or in office or in other situations where it might reflect upon the integrity of the court. It may diminish it.
So, Professor Jones, you mentioned that we have a high retention rate. That is not necessarily always seen as a plus in Cook County. It's seen sometimes as a fact that once you're elected, voters don't ever go back to those ballots. They're complex, they don't pay attention, and a judge is a judge for life, functionally.
So there's certainly some speculation there that might be the case, but I actually think that it's indicia of public confidence in the judiciary that we have such a high retention rate. Today we live in a world where anybody can get on Facebook and post anything about a judge. In Illinois, anybody can file a complaint with the Judicial Inquiry Board. What we find is that we have a very transparent process, but yet still the overwhelming number of complaints against judges is low. And when we look at that...
How do we know that? Can we see those complaints?
You can actually, if you go to the Judicial Inquiry Board, you can actually see all substantiated complaints. You also have social media. You also have the media. The media is very aggressive in holding judges accountable for any kind of behavior that might raise eyebrows, that it might raise alarm, but yet we still have a very low number of reported incidents that might be a problem. And so that combined with the high retention rate indicates that I think there's high confidence in the judiciary right now.
Mark Karlinski, though, isn't the Judicial Inquiry Board really a kind of quiet, secretive proceeding until they actually confirm a finding, and even then you really can't find out much?
Yeah, so by the rules that are provided for that board in the Illinois Constitution, all of their proceedings and all of their happenings and mechanisms are confidential. And part of that is so that if there are unsubstantiated or frivolous cases, that they don't come out and harm the judiciary in the same way that the JIB exists to protect the integrity of the judiciary. Themselves on their website, on the form when you look and see how people can submit claims. They even put a note there saying that even if we get your information and we submit a letter back to you saying that we've closed your case, that it's still valuable to do it. Because even if they can't substantiate one case, if they find a pattern of all anonymous and confidential cases coming in against a certain judge or in a certain division, and they can detect a trend, that helps them enable it. So I don't think that even when the cases are closed, they're not fully closed. They're still looking for patterns, but they can only act on a case and only are going to really pull the trigger on something like that when they are confident that there is something wrong. Because to kick up that kind of dust on the court and not be able to deliver on whatever sort of disciplinary action or whatever their findings would probably be more harmful to the court than anything else.
Judge Ponce de Leon, Judge Evans talked about judges are limited, they can't. Well, the work ethic of an associate judge, saying that he really shouldn't be retained, and he responded he was really a whistleblower trying to reveal ethical misconduct of his own. How did that work out?
Well, what happened in that particular case...
Was there any corrective measure? Did he feel he got his complaint answered? Did you feel you got your complaint answered?
Well, it went before the Judicial Inquiry Board, and I never heard what happened to him because it's kept confidential.
But see, that's sort of my point. So what do we know about the examination and the process in which judges' conduct is explored? Is it as transparent as you're saying, Professor?
I believe that it is. I think that if you go to the website, I think that they do a very good job of educating us on what the conclusion are. And keep in mind, the Judicial Inquiry Board sends matters up to the Illinois Commission. So that's not the conclusion of the case. It actually has to go somewhere further. So they have the power to act as a prosecutor and to send the case forward. So I think there might be a misconception that it ends at the Judicial Inquiry Board, and that's actually not true. There's another step there.
Judge Cook spent $660,000 to be elected in